Hello everyone, this is Ibrahima from Wolof Academy. Today I've decided to take an email from my weekly newsletter, record it and create a video. So what you're about to watch now is a sneak peek into my newsletter. In this newsletter I cover a wide range of topics including Wolof grammar, common Wolof phrases and quotes, Senegalese etiquette and culture, and much more. To join the hundreds of subscribers who receive these emails every single week, register now by visiting newsletter.wolofacademy.com or by using the link provided in the description below. Without any further ado, let's get started. Subject line: the Wolof conjugation is hard. Dear reader, some time ago, I gave a fun Wolof lesson to one of my students. At that time, she had recently married a Gambian and was learning Wolof to communicate effectively with her husband and in-laws. Although she knew some basic Wolof phrases, she was struggling with the grammar. In fact, at some point during the lesson, she said, "The Wolof conjugation is hard." This statement made me smile because while she was finding it difficult, I was thinking the exact opposite. She went on to explain why she felt that way, but all I could think about was that it was time for her to undergo a mindset shift. The thing is, the way you approach conjugation in Wolof is completely different from the way you do in English. Conjugation in English relies solely on the verb. Verbs are the tools we use to display the tense. The way we shape them indicates, among other things, whether an action will happen in the future, is happening presently, or has already happened. In Wolof, however, we don't touch the verb. Verbs are unchangeable words that cannot be conjugated. So, instead of transforming the verb, we shift the responsibility of indicating the tense from the verb to the subject pronoun. A subject pronoun is a word used to replace the subject of a sentence. In English, there are 8 subject pronouns: I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. However, in Wolof, there are several categories of subject pronouns, each with a specific role to play. In other words, we have specific subject pronouns for each tense that you want to display. Great, but that simply means I'll have to memorize a lot of subject pronouns as opposed to the 8 we have in English. How is that simpler? One might ask. To answer this question and prove that Wolof conjugation is in fact easier to learn than English conjugation, let's do some simple math. According to Google, there are approximately 200 irregular verbs in English, and the issue with irregular verbs is that they lack a predictable pattern. This implies that if I want to learn how to conjugate these 200 verbs in the past tense, for example, I must memorize all 200 verb forms. Crazy, right? On the other hand, Wolof is predictable. This means that there is a clear and predictable pattern that can be boiled down to a simple A plus B math equation. Let me give you an example. In Wolof, lek means to eat. It's an action verb, and to conjugate it in the past, all you have to do is use the appropriate subject pronoun with the correct formula. In this case, that would be past tense equals action verb plus perfective pronoun. This means that I ate would be translated to lekna, with na being the perfective pronoun, also known as the completion marker. Na translates to I, but it also indicates the tense of the verb, which in this case is the past tense. Simple, right? Therefore, if you want to learn how to conjugate 200 irregular verbs in the past tense in Wolof, all you have to do is memorize 6 pronouns, and that's it. You can then use these 6 pronouns with any action verb to conjugate them in the past tense. Let me show you some examples. To go is dem in Wolof. I went is demna. To eat, lek. I ate, lekna. To see, gis. I saw, gisna. To speak, wax. I spoke, waxna. To take, jël. I took, jëlna. Notice how in English the verb always changes, while in Wolof the verb didn't even change once. Now, let me ask you a question. What is easier to learn, 6 pronouns or 200 verb forms? I'll let you decide. See you next week for more Wolof wisdom. Sincerely, Ibrahima. And that's the end of the email. If you find this video insightful, then you'll get much more value by subscribing to my newsletter. You can do so by heading to newsletter.wolofacademy.com or by clicking the link in the description below. See you next time.